Mickey, cricket's back.
Hallelujah.
I know this is your favourite time of year.
Yeah.
We've been able to have 6 full days of cricket in pre-season, and what have you made of what you've seen from the team?
Yeah, look, I say it every year, but I am really excited. We've got a wonderful squad. Boys have worked incredibly hard. And I've been very impressed where everybody is in their skills. So yeah, look, I am incredibly excited about this year, and I believe massively in the squad we've assembled. I believe massively in everybody's ability. They're clear in what we want from them. So roll it on. Let's hope it goes well.
Yeah, we got a first look at Caleb Jewell on day one of the game against Saka. A really nice made century. He's settling in well, isn't he? He's
settled in beautifully. Very, very good player, Caleb. Reminds me a lot of Sean Marsh, actually, from my West Australia and Australia days. Fine player, settled in well, lovely guy. Just what we need in terms of our dressing room, and really excited to see how he goes this year, because there's a proper player there.
Yeah, and I suppose if we were to go back 365 days to preparing for Gloucestershire as an opener last season, there was barely any pre-season. The outfield was saturated, and the bowlers weren't really able to get any loads into their legs. It's been night and day this winter, and how beneficial will that be come the opening day on Friday?
It's massively beneficial, just to get time in the legs, but not only that, it's the guys that have had time to actually hone their skills. Yeah. So our bowlers have bowled enough spells for them to be cherry ripe and ready. Batsmen have had enough time in good conditions, which has been good pitches, and we've played well as a group. The competition within our squad now is massive, and that's exactly where we wanted to be. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago when I arrived, it was, the team virtually picked itself. I've had some tough conversations this week on how we're going to start and who's going to play and what the roles that they're going to play for you within our team dynamic. And those conversations are never easy, and they're tough, but they're nice to have, from a sense that it shows how strong our squad has become, and it's going to be the same in white ball. So I'm incredibly impressed, incredibly happy, and just really excited.
Yeah, of course, Wayne will make his return to first-class captaincy on Friday, but how important have these 2 pre-season games been for him to kind of step back into that role and start developing tactics and understanding with the players?
Yeah, look, Wayne's he's been superb, as we all know he would. He's a student of the game, but he's also a very experienced campaigner. So he knows it backwards. He knows the conditions backwards. This has given him an opportunity to hone his attack. Him and I have had some really nice conversations around what we want from our team, to some combinations that we think could work in terms of the conditions we're going to play. So no, he's been brilliant, and really happy to have him leading our first class team. He'll do a wonderful job. And
looking ahead to Gloucestershire, it all gets started on Friday. It's set to be nice weather, but how important is it, with an opening home fixture and also 3 home fixtures out of the first 4, that we make a good start on home soil?
It's vitally important, and every team will be saying the same thing. I think of last year, as we touched on earlier, the stop-start nature of our campaign. It felt like after 2 games, it felt like we hadn't started the season yet, because we had only played sort of 3 days of cricket. We get some momentum, we get some confidence in the dressing room, and we start well. We'll be in a really good place, and to get that momentum and confidence in any dressing room is so important. So I'm just hoping that day one goes well. My message to the players, it's always first hour, first session, first day. That is so important for us. And if we can do that and do that well, the confidence will just spread. Because I'll say it again, I believe 100% in the players we have in that dressing room.
And I suppose the really nice thing as well, you've been able to use these 2 pre-season games as an opportunity for players to almost give auditions, for players to earn their spots. But that competition doesn't end now. you'll be judging every Red Bull game in terms of who's playing well, who's doing well in the second 11, and who to pick next game. So there is real fierce competition, isn't there? And there's places up for grabs still.
Exactly. Everybody's performance is going to be monitored. There's going to be a couple of guys bursting a gut to play the first second 11 game because they haven't had an opportunity to play in the first team yet. So that just lifts standards. Now, I'm all about standards. Standards for me are what makes a high performance environment tick. And as long as we can keep lifting those standards, and the expectation on every player is that the only currency is performance, and they perform and they get the gig, it just lifts the standard of your dressing room, and that makes me incredibly happy and incredibly proud, because we've worked really hard, myself, cricket committee, to get a dressing room that is as skilled and as talented as ours now, in both forms, red ball and white ball. So I'm excited, and hopefully it all comes together nicely.
Well, one performance you will have enjoyed keeping up with over the last week or so was Blair Tickner's final game of the season for Central Stags. He took 8 wickets in the match. Yeah. He looks in really good touch. Now, he won't be with us for the first game of the season. He'll arrive for the second game of the campaign. But how much are you looking forward to welcoming him back? And he'll give a bit of a boost after the start of the season, won't he?
Yeah, he will. Yeah, it's just the way the seasons fell that we couldn't get him here in time for game one because of jet lag, etc. New Zealand's a long way away. Blair's gone fantastically well. He's had a great year. Blair loves this club. He loves Derbyshire, and he was just so good in the dressing room. And the one thing that nobody can ever quantify, because a lot of people don't see the influence a guy has in the dressing room, and his influence was massive in that dressing room last year. And I know he's boosting a gut to come back and perform, and turning in some match-winning performances for us. And seeing him in such good form and having off the back of such a good domestic season in England is magic for us. And it just adds that experience and quality to what is, I think, an already very good attack.